Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at AI. So one of the higher risk altcoins that I put my money in, call it kind of screw it money, it was based upon a very simple strategy, which was support, major area of support. And to be honest with you, it didn't work out very well in the short term, but so far it's looking pretty good. Now it doesn't really do it much justice on this chart because on the Kucoin app, and only on the Kucoin app, do you get a decent MACD read. And what the MACD is showing on the weekly is that we've had enormous bullish divergence taking place on the MACD for a very long period of time, diverging really strong. So you don't really see that on TradingView or Kucoin on the desktop platform or anything, but it is there. And so what we've seen recently is that's looking to play out, and it would tie in quite nicely with the way that the Ichimoku cloud pretty much dissipates towards the end of October, and I would expect that this turns into not one of these silly sort of pump moves, because again, this is a consolidation after this ridiculous move, but a bit more of a steady uptrend, right? And again, it's not a very old chart, so charts do need a bit of time to mature, and it looks like this one is beginning to mature now. But this would be the major area, and it would tie in very nicely with the way that the weekly chart looks as well. Not that I could show it to you on this screen anyway. So yeah, things look pretty good towards the end of this month and certainly into November and beyond. Now, if we go down to the lower term timeframes, obviously we've had a nice pump today, so it's looking quite reassuring. We've had our golden cross on the 4-hourly chart over here, and so far so good. It's working quite well. This is very aggressive when it wants to move, and this is the one thing that would, I suppose, scare me a little bit on this chart, because I don't want it to get too aggressive too quickly. But this is the first time we've seen a setup like this. We've not really had this before. We've had basically just enormous downtrends, horrendous downtrends basically. Pumps and dumps, pumps and dumps. This would be the first time that the chart has actually had the chance to pick up on what could be a tangible uptrend. Now, if we think about what we're looking at here, it is a low cap coin, really, as far as trading volume is concerned anyway. I mean, it's not that low. We've seen lower than this, we trade lower than this, and this has been lower than this. Money flow index is quite I suppose, optimistic at this high level on a 4-hourly, and again, it would only be for a temporary pullback if that was the case. Let's have a look for the 6-hourly. 6-hourly, still no golden cross in place, and obviously there'll not be anything else above the 4-hourly. The 4-hourly does hold weight. So what I would suggest is hold on to your horses with a coin like this. Again, this was what I would call screw it money. I did invest in this as it was coming down to, well, it was in this pattern, so we saw a nice reaction at 2.2 cent. The average buy entry for me was probably lower than 2 cent now, but it was between 2 and 2.2 to start with. And then as we went down further, I thought, what the heck, might as well give it a try, since it would appear that the consolidation is over and we're into an accumulation, even though we're below what I would have considered to be a major support zone. So it did pick up more. So I would say that my average entry point with everything that I put in is probably between 1.8 cents. That would be. Even so, we have to respect the fact that this is still going to be a high risk coin, but I like the way that the chart looks for what it's worth. I do like the way that it looks, especially on the short term time frames and on the long term time frames. Consolidation is finished. This could all be accumulation to which we're poking our head out now based upon that 4-hourly chart finally picking up pace, because people were asking me about this, on the Telegram and just in general, just reaching out to me, going, what's going on with AI? What's going on with AI? I said, well, to be honest with you, we're going to be downtrending until at least we flip this 50 exponential on the 4-hourly and turn that into a support. We did that, and then things will really pick up pace when we finally get above the 200 exponential. It's pretty standard stuff, really, pretty standard practice when it comes to using basic momentum shifts, and this is what's happened now. So we've got a momentum shift. Stage 1 was closing above the 50, retesting it, that's great. Stage 2, getting above the 200, that's great. Golden cross is great as well. Now, most of the time when we see golden crosses, I would expect to dump down into it. Doesn't mean we're going to come all the way back down to these levels, although we could, so we have to respect that could happen. And if it does happen, it doesn't mean it's the end. It just means that that's something that I expect to see probably about 70% of the time you get that kind of thing. It might not be a golden cross on the 4-hourly. We could be looking for the holy grail, which would be the one on the daily, which again you're not going to see because we don't have a 200 exponential on the daily, because it's a very young chart. Either way, the big moves, if there are going to be big moves on this chart, look like they're likely to begin anywhere above 2 cent, and it would be towards the end of this month, is when we'll have the final freedom to do those sort of moves. The end of this month into November, I I should expect to see some very, very big moves on this one. But again, if we don't get big moves on them, no big deal. You know, coins like this and charts like this, they do offer opportunity, but they come at high risk, so we have to take that on board. But so far, I mean, it's changing. The behaviour is changing, but the momentum should shift to a much more bullish outlook towards the end of this month into November. And that will do for my update on AI. So feel free to subscribe to the channel and join the Telegram for just general chit chat on crypto. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.